Normal redditors that dated a celebrity, what was it like? Not a date. Percent. But I had a nice quiet dinner with Samantha Fox in her hotel room in Toronto in the 80s. She was in town for a show and I was attached to her security detail. She asked me to eat with her because she didn't want to go out but hated eating alone. Sweet girl. Kinda sad too. Lonely. Wow, she seemed like the sexiest woman alive to me when I was young in the 80s. My mom had a dinner date with George Clooney in the 90s. She didn't really say much apart from the fact that he's an interesting and charismatic guy, but she honestly didn't think he was going to blow up. My best friend's mom worked with him years ago. Their early 20s or college age-ish. He was a shoe salesman. She was security. Said he always talked about wanting to act and get famous and everyone doubted him, but he was always nice to everyone and a likable guy. A family friend's mom went clubbing with Lady Gaga. Afterwards, Gaga asked if she knew who she was. Friend's mom had no idea. This is my favorite one so far. It's endearing to think of someone hanging out with Lady Gaga and having zero clue who she is. How did she end up clubbing with Lady Gaga? Was this a long time ago? Were they not being mobbed by people? Just trying to imagine the circumstances that led to this, and can't. Back when they were still a small bar band, my mother had drinks with the Cult. The lead singer had told her he was in a band, but she didn't believe him. So when they played Wildflower that night, he dedicated the song to her. Dude, that's awesome, I love the Cult. Rosario Dawson liked 2 of my tweets once. So you could say it was getting pretty serious. Just drop out already. Senator Booker. My aunt lived down the street from Leonardo DiCaprio when she was a kid. He was her first kiss. She was 12. He was 13. It was behind the school gym. Apparently he was a really nice kid. She moved away before he started landing roles. Totally lost touch. Imagine trying to get with this girl. Then you find out that her last guy was Leonardo DiCaprio. Capital L. This thread has taught me that as an aunt I really need to up my dating game so my nibblings will have better stories. What are they nibbling? My aunt kissed Gordon Lightfoot in a bathroom at one of his concerts. I'm guessing there was probably more, but she didn't elaborate. She probably went down like the Edmund Fitzgerald. R. Kelly asked me on a date in the mid-90s. I declined because I had a boyfriend at the time. Besides, I was too old for him, lol. So you were, what, 18 years old? I have a family friend who dated Daniel Radcliffe. I was 7 at the time they dated. And a huge Harry Potter fan. I don't remember much aside from the fact that he was a really sweet guy. On my 8th birthday, my family friend told Daniel it was my birthday and he texted me a personal happy birthday message despite never having met me. Absolutely made it the best birthday ever. Edit, you are all asking why I had a phone at 8 years old. To clarify, Daniel texted from my family friend's phone to my mom's phone. And sadly, I don't still have the message, as my mom's messages were deleted when she got a new phone. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it's true, I swear on Reddit. He's probably one of the only celebrities that seem really nice. My mom lived in Key West in the early mid-80s. She dated Sting for a while. He had a really nice yacht and they went on a sailing trip during which he realized my mom is psycho. She is. He ended it right after. Sometimes to duck with my dad I'll start singing Roxanne or Message in a Bottle. I always imagined Sting had a nice yacht. That little monster kid from the first Mad Max lived next door to us as kids and constantly chased my sister around trying to kiss her. Edit, spelling, and apparently he is in the second movie. I really ducking hope this is true. I dated Flux Pavilion for 7 years. It was great. So we got married in January. I enjoy my own company so the touring isn't really a problem. Edit, I posted that and then felt guilty about such a low effort post. So, it's nice to share my life with a person so creatively fulfilled. I love hearing whatever he's worked on that day when he gets home. I get to tag along to cool places. And it's sweet to see how much people care about his music. I generally don't try to explain what he does when I meet new people because they either won't get it and don't care, or they do get it, care too much, and then only want to talk to me about his music. Largely though, just a normal happy marriage. He judges me when I listen to Radio 1. I judge him when his phone isn't on silent. His job isn't much of a factor in our daily life. I married Josh, not Flux Pavilion. Really. He's an excellent husband for myriad reasons. And his musical talent is only one of those. IDK who Flux Pavilion is. But he did good in the wife department apparently. My uncle is a ski instructor in Northern California and had a coffee date with PNK. And then? Not me, but my aunt dated Weird Al Yankovic when she was in her mid-20s. I wasn't alive back then, but my family tells me he was a genuinely funny person in a way you wouldn't very much expect. I can't personally give any examples, but my dad and aunt have plenty of stories. One of my much older cousins actually has a signed guitar that Al played with in a live show. My aunt and Al met from my dad being a radio DJ as a teenager. And he met a lot of celebrities through that. Mostly 90s and early 2000s pop and country stars. But anyways, the station my dad worked at threw Weird Al a birthday party. And my aunt just happened to be there. And they ended up together for a decent amount of time. Every once in a while Al will come into town to say hi to her. Even though they aren't together, they are still friends. And no, Al isn't cheating on his wife with my aunt. My aunt's a strong married Christian. And I'm more than 100% sure she wouldn't do that. One of these days I might end up meeting him. Which I think would be pretty cool. Edit. Thank you everyone for all the upvotes. I've never gotten this many before. My record before this was like 200, so this is absolutely nuts. It's really made my day. I've heard Weird Al is also a very religious person as well. He just tends to be quiet about it. He's one of my all-time heroes. I'm glad to hear your story because it backs up everything I've heard about his goodness and creativity even in his private life. My aunt was married to Van Morrison briefly. Here they are together on this album artwork. No interesting stories that I could remember. They were in love, but he was always gone, so it didn't work out. I was told that he would play guitar for the fam on Christmas get-togethers. This is the first post I've been able to figure out who's behind the magic door. Your aunt was married to him during his most epic phase. So she's not unknown to fans of a certain age. Thank you for sharing. Dated a famous player on the Giants. Ego was huge. Eggplant was huge. Date was intimidating. 6 was disappointing. He paid for my Uber 2 hours away lol. Edit. Football. Not OBJ. But it was 3 letters. And I doubt he was on steroids. My aunt went on a date with Jimmy Buffett. She said he picked her up. Stopped at a gas station. Bought a jar of pickles and then drove to the beach. They ate pickles and he took her home. Little did she know he went on many dates like this, slowly eating each of the components of a cheeseburger on each subsequent date. My friend's aunt went on a blind date with Gerard Butler. Circa 300, the movie. Not the year. There was a big miscommunication. Because he was looking for a hookup and she's a kindly French Canadian woman in her 50s. But they both had a laugh about it and enjoyed supper with each other. She said he was very kind. And very muscular. So what the duck happened? Did he clap cheeks or nap? A fairly close acquaintance of mine at the time went on a few dates with Natalie Portman when they were both at Harvard around 2002. He said she was exceptionally down to earth. Genuine. And very engaging. Natalie Portman is the reason I work out. I have this fantasy where we start talking at the Vanity Fair Oscars party bar. We exchange a few pleasantries. She asks what I do. I say I loved her in New Girl. She laughs. I get my drink. Well. See ya. I say and walk away. I've got her attention now. How many guys voluntarily leave a conversation with Natalie Portman? She touches her neck as she watches me leave. Later. As the nights dragged on and the coterie of gorgeous narcissists grows increasingly loose, she finds me on the balcony, my booty undone, smoking a cigarette. Got a spare? She asks. What's in it for me? I say as I hand her one of my little white ladies. She smiles. Conversation with me. Dup. I laugh. What's so funny? She protests. Nothing. Nothing. It's just. Don't you grow tired of the egos? You get used to it. She says, lighting her cigarette and handing me back the lighter. What would you do if you weren't an actress? I ask. Teaching. I think. And if I was your student? What would I be learning? Discipline. She says quickly, looking up into my eyes. Before changing the subject. Where are you from? Bermuda. I say. Oh wow. That's lovely. It's okay. I admit. Not everything is to my liking. What could possibly be not to your liking in Bermuda? She inquires. I don't like sand. I tell her. It's coarse and rough and irritating and it gets everywhere. My mom was really good friends with Andre the Giant, Andre Rene Rousimov, because he used to frequent her place of work. According to her, he was the sweetest, most gentle man she ever met in her life. She misses him. Edit. Since this blew up, I had a little bit of unrelated fun. My mom also mooned Hillary Clinton and got her talking to by Secret Service. Edit number 2. From my dad. Yes, she met him downtown Salt Lake City and waited on him whenever he came into the bar she worked at. She said he was a very nice man. His whole hand covered her face plus some. Edit number 3. From my mom. He is very kind person. He would give you the shirt off his back. He was a very calm person when talking with people. He was messed with as a child due to his size. He was from France. He suffered from giantism. He was 7 feet 4 inches tall. He weighed like 500 pounds. He wrestled at Madison Square Gardens. This man was what you call a real gentle giant outside the ring. He put his hand up to my face and it was bigger than my head. He loved his career and his fans. He was very sensitive. He had a real calm voice when talking to him. I was able to sit with him and talk for at least an hour on my lunch breaks when he came to visit. I miss him. And I never met him. After hearing some stories, I honestly just want to give him a hug. As best I could. Anyway. Lol. Friend of mine dated Brad Pitt in college. 2 or 3 dates if I remember correctly. I went to a different school. But remember meeting him when I went to visit my friend. One of my friend's dad's friends is a plumber and got called to do a job for Doug Pitt, Brad's brother. Well, Brad just happened to be visiting when plumber guy showed up. Plumber guy introduced himself to Doug, who is kind of a hometown celebrity, philanthropist, etc. Then looked at Brad and jokingly said, "Ah, you must be Doug's brother." Brad didn't find that too funny. One of my dad's close friends is Jim Carrey's first wife. Apparently he turned into kind of a big dig when he got famous. Shock 8ng. I know. I remember a decade or so again when their grown kids band was trying to make a living with their music. She really want Jim to help them get bookings and stuff and he was all they need to make it on their own. Then he got a new girlfriend who told him to help his kid out and he did. First wife is still salty about that. I thought it was kind of a not so well kept industry secret that Carey was a huge big dig. Doubly so after Katrina White committed suicide. How do normal people even get the chance to date celebrities? Because I kinda have a celebrity crush on someone who I believe is someone is in my league. Meet them casually. Don't be a ducking goon. Ask them out. Jonah Hill awkwardly slid me his number when I worked in a hotel he was staying at. We went to coffee once and he got super clingy. Asked me for nudes every day. I was 20 and a virgin. He wanted to throw me a 21 Street birthday party in Palm Springs and when I politely declined he turned real Segway. He wasn't even funny. This is the quality content I'm in this thread for. I dated a girl who went on to be a sort of alternative porn star. We were both 17/18. And she was really nice and we got on really well. But she was almost too obsessed with sex even then. The second time we hung out, she gave me a BJ in a graveyard. Like, it really couldn't get more emo. And yes, it really was that good. We broke up and kind of lost contact, and then I found out she was doing porn. Think she only did it for a little while, but it was certainly interesting when I found out. How many faps did you do to it? Probably too late for this, but about 15 years ago, when the show The Simple Life with Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie was popular, I made out with Paris Hilton at a nightclub in Baltimore. Essentially, they were filming them doing all sorts of random jobs around the country and staying with local families, all for the culture clash laughs. One of those families ended up being my friend and her family. Being a close friend and a well-known admirer of Paris at the time, I was invited over and got to hang with her and Nicole Richie a good amount while they were in town. Both of them were super sweet and a lot smarter than they played for the camera. Paris was a great kisser, and this story is always a hit with my friends. A few months later, her phone was hacked and nudes were leaked. My number was in her phone book and I got spammed with prank calls from 4chan. Or something. I imagine it was a lot worse for anyone who was actually famous. Anyhow, basically lost total contact after that. But still a fun story. I don't think it's too late for the two of you. But I'm the same age as her. You gotta hurry. We're all nearing 40. Posted this before. Not really a celebrity, and I did not know when we first met that she was famous. I had a brief friendship relationship with a former porn star. She was a really nice woman, and when I was aware of her fame it did not cause any problems. Every now and then someone would go wide-eyed when they saw her. Men tended to just look, and if they had friends they would point her out to them. Women were much more upfront. They would say things like, "I loved that scene with you and whatever guy s," and they would usually say a particular position that was their favorite. That even happened when we were sitting together having lunch. Are you willing to say who it was? My college roommate's cousin, I believe, went on a date, maybe multiple dates, with Armie Hammer before he blew up in the social network, and apparently he forgot all about the date they went on, and when he tried to reintroduce himself to her at another encounter, she said something along the lines of, "I know we used to date. Pretty sure the guy is married now." Maybe it was just his twin. Not me. But my aunt dated Matthew McConaughey before he was famous. He ended up getting invited to her wedding to my normal uncle, and proceeded to pass out drunk in the back of my family's car. He refused to leave. And now my dad refuses to watch his movies. Alright. I matched with Chloe Moritz on Bumble once, but then I said I liked her in Dark Shadows and she ghosted. Edit, I'm a girl and her account was verified lol. She messaged you and you blew it. Damn, I'm so late and I know this will get buried, but when my mom's aunt died they were going through her stuff and found a picture of her sitting on JFK's lap. No one knew anything about it. JFK almost definitely slept with your mom's aunt. He boned nearly every White House intern he had. My cousin was hit on by Shaq at a festival. When she pointed out that he was married, he allegedly said, "I'm Muslim. I'm allowed to have many wives." Using the Shaqnosis. Didn't date, but I made out with Shiloh, the girl who sang that Operator Don't Call Me I'll Call You Later song. I've been seeing her online lately because of her relationship Anision. Puking because Anision still exists. Every time I think I forget what his ugly face looks like, someone randomly mentions the bastard. When I was a teenager my friend said she dated one of the Backstreet Boys. But she was lying. So I just cut out the middleman for you. I don't understand how people can lie about dating someone like a member of the Backstreet Boys who's obviously larger than life. I wish people would quit playing games and just be honest about their experiences. Some might think that demanding this sort of transparency could be detrimental to a friendship. But honestly I want it that way. My word is really all I have to give. And as long as you love me for me and not for who you think I should be, then I can't ask for more than that.